My friends, tonight I want to remind you of a truth so powerful that it can shape every corner of your life. You are not limited by circumstance, nor by what the world tells you is possible. The power lies within you, the power to relax, to allow and to see the impossible become your reality. Every creation begins not in the outer world but in the quiet chambers of the mind. When you understand this, you no longer force or struggle. You rest, you imagine, and you allow life to unfold in divine order. When enter the silence. My friends, if you would master the art of creation, you must first master the art of silence. Not the silence of an empty room, not the silence where you simply turn off the noise around you, but the silence of the mind. For it is here, in this stillness, that all great visions are born. We live in a world filled with distractions, the constant chatter of the day, the endless noise of worries, the opinions of others. They surround us like a storm. Yet within you there is a secret chamber, a sanctuary untouched by the noise of the world. To enter it, you must first decide, I will withdraw from the world of appearances and step into the reality of imagination. The silence I speak of is not a void but a fullness. It is the womb of creation. It is the place where you are free to become anything, free to assume anything, free to give birth to a new reality. When you enter it, you are no longer bound by the limitations of the senses. You are no longer a slave to what is. Instead, you awaken to what can be. Let us begin. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel the body grow still. The outer senses will whisper to you, stay alert, stay awake to the world. But tonight I ask you to do the opposite. Turn your attention inward. Let the outer world fade like a dream. The room around you, the sounds outside the window, even the thoughts that come racing into your mind. Let them dissolve, for now none of that is important. The only thing that matters is the inner world, the place where imagination is sovereign. Do not think this is an escape. It is not running away from reality. On the contrary, it is returning to the very source of reality. The world you see outside is nothing more than a shadow cast by your inner state. To change the shadow, you must change the light within, and that begins in silence. As you enter this silence, I want you to notice how restless the mind can be. Thoughts leap forward, reminding you of tomorrow's duties, yesterday's mistakes, or present concerns. Do not fight them. Fighting only feeds them. Instead, let them pass by like clouds drifting across the sky. You are not the thought. You are the awareness behind the thought. When you stand in this awareness, you discover the mind cannot control you. You are free. Now feel the body relax. Feel the shoulders drop, the jaw unclench, the heart slow its pace. The more relaxed you are, the easier it becomes to slip into that inner stillness. For the body and mind are linked. Quiet one, and the other follows. In this quiet, a door opens. You are no longer tied to the pressures of the day. You are no longer bound by the opinions of others. You are free to imagine. And this is the key. Imagination responds best to silence. When the noise of the world is silenced, imagination speaks clearly. You may not hear it with the ears, but you will feel it with the heart. It comes as a whisper, a picture, a gentle knowing that what you see inside is more real than what you see outside. Entering the silence is like planting a seed. The outer soil may look barren, empty, lifeless, but beneath, in the hidden darkness, life is stirring. So too in your imagination, though nothing appears to have changed outside, the very moment you enter the silence and plant the seed of your desire, life begins to move. A process is set in motion, unseen yet unstoppable. Now let me tell you why this is so powerful. Most people live as prisoners of the senses. They believe only in what they can see, touch and hear. If something seems impossible to the senses, they declare it impossible altogether. But you are learning a higher law. You are learning that the senses are not the cause, but the effect. The true cause lies in the silence, in the imaginal act. When you enter the silence, you are no longer a beggar, hoping for life to change. You become the master who writes the script. You are no longer reacting to circumstances. You are creating them. And all this happens without strain, without struggle, without force. Think of the artist before a blank canvas. He does not panic at the emptiness before him. He delights in it, for he knows within himself the vision is already complete. The canvas is simply the place where it will be revealed. Your silence is that blank canvas. Enter it with joy, not fear. Enter it knowing that what you imagine here must one day appear out there. Do not be discouraged if at first the silence feels fleeting. The mind will resist. It has been trained to run after every distraction, but persistence will tame it. Each time you practice entering the silence, it grows easier. Each time you withdraw attention from the outer and fix it inward, you are training the mind to obey you. Soon, silence will no longer be a struggle, but a joy. It will become your place of refuge, your place of creation, your place of power. And what will you find there? You will find that you are greater than you ever imagined. You will find that within you dwells a power that can call into being things that do not yet exist. You will find that silence is not emptiness, but fullness overflowing. So tonight, as you practice step 1, remember this. The silence is your doorway to freedom. Enter it not as a guest, but as a master returning home. Enter it with confidence, knowing that the moment you turn within, you step into the creative center of the universe. And from this center, you can imagine anything, assume anything, and create anything. Now I ask you, what would you like to bring into being? Do not worry about how it will come, or when it will come. For now, simply rest in silence, and allow the vision to form. Let it rise naturally, and when it comes, embrace it, feel it, live in it, then release it, trusting that the seed you planted in silence will bloom in time. Do this, and you will no longer be a wanderer lost in the noise of the world. You will be the creator who knows the secret, that in silence lies the birth of every miracle. Relax the body, free the mind. My friends, tonight, let us go deeper into the art of creation. We began by entering the silence, and now we move to the second step, to relax the body and free the mind. For without relaxation, imagination cannot take root. Without rest, the vision cannot be clothed in life. The world teaches us to strive, to fight, to chase. But creation is not born out of struggle. It is born out of stillness. Just as the seed does not force its way into growth, but quietly unfolds beneath the soil, so too must your desire unfold within you, in quiet rest. Relaxation is the gateway. When you relax the body, you quiet the noise that binds you to the outer world. And when the body is quiet, the mind follows. A restless body breeds a restless mind, but a calm body invites a calm spirit. So tonight, let us begin with the body. Sit comfortably, or lie down if you wish. Feel the weight of your body sink into the chair, into the bed, into the ground. Let gravity do its work. You need not hold yourself up. You need not resist. Allow yourself to be carried. The moment you release the need to hold, you discover the joy of being held. Start with the feet. Feel them grow heavy, as if sinking into the floor. Then the legs, the hips, the stomach, all softening, all loosening, all surrendering. Move upward to the chest, the shoulders, the neck. Drop the tension. Let it fall away like a cloak you no longer need. Then the jaw, the eyes, the forehead. Soften them. The body is no longer your servant to be driven hard. It is your companion, willing to rest with you in peace. Now notice something remarkable. As the body releases, the mind begins to follow. Those racing thoughts, those restless concerns, they too begin to slow. The mind, like the body, responds to permission. The moment you say, "Be still," it begins to obey. You do not need to force the mind into stillness. Forcing is resistance, and resistance breeds more noise. Instead, allow. Give yourself permission to rest. Whisper inwardly, "Peace, be still," and stillness will come. Many believe that relaxation is a luxury, a reward to be earned after hard work. But I tell you, relaxation is the very foundation of creation. For it is only when you are still that you can hear the quiet voice of imagination. It is only when you are at rest that the vision can rise within you, without distortion. Consider the artist again. He does not paint while trembling with tension. He steadies the hand, quiets the breath, and enters the flow of creation. So too must creation requires a body at ease, a mind at rest, and a spirit open. Let us go further. As you relax, do not see this as escape. See it as alignment. The body aligns with the mind aligns with the spirit, and the spirit aligns with the vision. This harmony is power. When body, mind, and spirit are united in stillness, they form the perfect vessel for creation. Ask yourself, have you ever noticed how the greatest ideas often come, not in the midst of effort, but in the midst of rest? The solution arrives in the shower, in the quiet walk, in the moment before sleep. Why? Because in these moments the body is relaxed, the mind is quiet, and the deeper wisdom of imagination is free to speak. So practice this consciously. Do not wait for rest to come by accident. Choose each day. Take time to relax deliberately. Withdraw from the noise. Let the body loosen, let the mind calm, and allow the vision to form. This is not laziness. This is creation in its purest form. Now let us deepen this practice. Imagine that with every breath, you are breathing in peace, and with every exhale, you are releasing tension. Breathe in. Peace fills the lungs, the chest, the heart. Breathe out, the weight of the day falls away. With each breath, the body softens, the mind clears, the spirit lifts. As you breathe, remind yourself, I am not the tension. I am not the worry. I am not the body that grows weary, nor the thoughts that chase each other endlessly. I am the awareness, the center, the creator. I am the still point where all creation begins. And as you rest in this awareness, the mind becomes free. Free of fear, free of doubt, free of the endless calculations of how and when. You no longer need to figure out the details. That is not your work. Your work is simply to imagine, to feel, to rest in the end. And you cannot do this while bound in tension. You must relax to be free. When the body is tense, you are tied to the senses. You are rooted in the outer world, chained to appearances. But when the body relaxes, the senses loosen their grip. The outer fades, and the inner rises. Suddenly, you are free to feel what you choose, free to see what you wish, free to clothe yourself in the reality of your desire. This is why relaxation is not just comfort but power. It is not weakness, but strength. The warrior who is tense cannot aim as the dancer who is rigid cannot move with grace. The creator who is restless cannot imagine with clarity. Relaxation is mastery. Now hear this. To relax the body is to declare trust. Trust in the unseen. Trust in the process. Trust in the power within you. For if you are truly convinced that your desire is already yours, why would you strain? Why would you struggle? Struggle is the language of doubt. Rest is the language of faith. When you relax, you are saying, it is done, and in that relaxation the mind is free. Free to wander into new worlds, free to dwell in the end, free to embrace the vision as though it were already real. And once the mind is free, nothing is impossible. So tonight, I ask you to practice this art, not just once but daily. Relax the body, breathe deeply, enter the silence, and as the body grows still, let the mind expand into freedom. Feel the desire as though it were already fulfilled. See it, yes, but more than that, feel it. For feeling is the secret key, and feeling comes most easily when the body is at rest and the mind is free. Remember, creation is not struggle. It is not strain. It is rest. It is ease. It is trust. Relax the body, and the mind will follow. Free the mind, and the vision will blossom. Plant the seed in this relaxed state, and it will grow in ways you cannot yet imagine. So my friends, tonight release the tension. Free yourself from the prison of striving. Enter the joy of rest. Relax the body. Free the mind, and watch how life itself bends to the vision you carry within. 3. Claim the end. My friends, we have entered the silence. We have relaxed the body. We have freed the mind. And now comes the third and most decisive step. Claim the end. What do I mean by this? I mean that you must occupy in imagination the very state you desire to experience in the world. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when the conditions are right, but now, in this present moment. To claim the end is to assume that you already are the one you long to be, that you already have the thing you long to possess, that the desire is already fulfilled. Most of the world lives in the waiting room of life. They wait for conditions to change. They wait for money, for opportunity, for approval, for permission. And while they wait, nothing changes. But the secret I share with you tonight is this. You do not wait for the end. You claim it. You step into it. You live from it, here and now. Do not misunderstand me. I am not asking you to pretend, nor to play with empty words. I am asking you to feel the truth of it within. For when you feel something is real within, the outer world must conform. The inner state always precedes the outer fact. This is the law. Let us explore this deeply. Suppose you desire freedom from limitation, freedom in wealth, in health, in love. The natural tendency is to look at present circumstances, measure them, and then declare, I cannot be free until these conditions change. But that is not creation. That is reaction. To create, you must claim the end before you see a single sign of it. You must declare inwardly, it is done. This is not arrogance. This is faith. This is alignment with the deeper law of being, for the truth is that every possibility already exists. The version of you who has what you desire is already alive. In imagine. When you claim the end, you merge with that version of yourself and the world must rearrange itself to reflect it. So how do you claim the end? By feeling the state of fulfillment now. If your desire were already realized, how would you feel? What thoughts would you think? How would you walk? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? Step into that feeling. Do not wait for evidence. Let the evidence flow from the feeling. This is where most falter. They cling to the present facts and say, but this is reality. How can I feel something that is not here? And I say to you, the facts of today are the creations of yesterday. They are shadows, echoes, reflections of past states. If you wish for tomorrow to be different, you must feel differently today. You must claim the end in imagination and let the shadow world adjust itself. Think of the actor on stage. Before the curtain rises, he has already claimed the role. He walks onto the stage, not as himself, but as the character. He lives it, breathes it, feels it until it becomes real. The audience responds, not to his private self, but to the role he embodies. So too must you. Claim the role of the fulfilled one. Step into it now. Feel it as though the curtain of life has already risen, and you are already playing your part. When you claim the end, you bypass the struggle of how. The mind, left to itself, obsesses over steps and methods. How will this happen? Who will help me? When will it come? But claiming the end dissolves those questions. For when you dwell in the end, the how becomes irrelevant. The bridge of incidents will appear. Events will unfold. People will move into place. Doors will open. But all of this happens naturally, without strain. Your work is not to build the bridge. Your work is to claim the destination. Let me give you an image. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. If you fix your eyes on the rocks before you, you will stumble, question and tire. But if you see yourself already standing on the summit, arms raised in triumph, the path will reveal itself step by step. Claim the summit, and the climb will take care of itself. Now let us practice together. Close your eyes. Bring to mind a desire, something deep, something true, something that burns within you. See it clearly, but do not merely see it. Step into it. Feel as though it is already yours. If it is health you seek, feel the joy of being whole. If it is love you seek, feel the warmth of being cherished. If it is wealth you seek, feel the security, the freedom, the ease of abundance. Let the feeling rise. Let it fill you. Let it clothe you completely. Now whisper within yourself, this is who I am. This is where I live. This is my reality. Do not beg for it. Do not chase it. Claim it. Own it. Rest in it. Do not worry if the outer world contradicts you. It will at first. But the contradiction is only a shadow, and shadows cannot stand against the light of sustained imagination. Hold to the end, and the shadow must yield. Persistence is key. Claim the end not once, but again and again. Each morning, each night, return to it. Dwell in it as naturally as you dwell in your own home. For soon it will be your home in truth. The more you feel it real, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it feels, the faster the world conforms. Now understand this. Claiming the end is not daydreaming. Daydreaming says, wouldn't it be nice if someday this happened? Claiming the end says, it is mine now. I live in it now. It is done. Daydreaming looks forward. Claiming the end lives in the present, and it is only the present that creates. So I say to you, be bold in imagination. Dare to claim the highest end. Do not settle for what seems reasonable, for what others tell you is possible. The end is limitless. If you can imagine it, you can claim it. And if you can claim it, you can live it. This step is not theory. It is practice. Tonight, when you leave this place, practice claiming the end in the quiet of your mind. Do not wait for the world to give you permission. Do not wait for a sign. Give yourself the sign. Feel the fulfillment. Declare it done. Live from the end, and the end will live through you. So my friends, remember this. The world reflects not what you want, but what you are, and you are what you claim. Claim lack and lack appears. Claim freedom, and freedom comes. Claim fear, and fear manifests. Claim love, and love overflows. Claim the end boldly, faithfully, joyfully, and watch as life itself bends to your inner assumption. For to claim the end is to align with the truth, that you are the creator of your experience, that the power lies not outside, but within, and that the future is not waiting to be given. It is waiting to be claimed. 4. Feel it real. My friends, we have walked together into the silence. We have relaxed the body, freed the mind, and claimed the end. But tonight we go deeper to the very heart of creation. You must feel it real. For imagination without feeling is like a seed without soil. It may exist, but it cannot grow. You may see the image in your mind, you may picture it clearly, but unless you give it the substance of emotion, it will remain a shadow, a thought, a passing dream. The world responds not to empty pictures, but to the feeling behind them. Why? Because feeling is the language of the subconscious, and the subconscious is the creative power that shapes your reality. You can speak words all day, you can repeat affirmations endlessly, but if you do not feel them as true, they remain as words. Words may move the mind, but feeling moves the spirit, and it is the spirit that creates. Think of it this way. When you remember a moment from your past, what makes it vivid? It is not the dry details of what happened, but the feeling that accompanied it. The joy, the sorrow, the love, the fear, that is what makes the memory alive. So too with imagination. If you would make the imaginal act alive, you must clothe it in feeling. Do not mistake this for effort. Feeling is not strain. It is not forcing yourself to believe what you cannot. It is allowing yourself to enter the mood of fulfillment, the tone of reality, the state of being, as though it were already so. It is a gentle shift, a surrender into a new atmosphere of the heart. Let us practice together. Suppose you desire success in your work. Do not merely see yourself at the desk, signing the contract or counting the money. That is the picture, yes, but it is not enough. You must feel the thrill of accomplishment. You must feel the relief of having done it. You must feel the confidence of being the one who has succeeded. That feeling is the magnet that draws the unseen into the seen. Or suppose you desire love. Do not merely imagine the face of another beside you. Feel the warmth of their presence. Feel the joy of companionship. Feel the safety, the comfort, the laughter. It is that feeling which makes the scene alive, and it is that feeling which calls it into being. The key is this. Live not as though you are trying to get there, but as though you are already there. Shift the question from how do I get it to how does it feel now that I have it. Let that feeling fill you, shape you, become the atmosphere in which you dwell. Feeling is not bound by words. You may not be able to describe it perfectly, but you know it when it comes. It is the quiet confidence, the inner smile, the sense of relief. It is the moment when you no longer long for the desire, because you already feel its fulfillment. That is when creation is complete. Do not be deceived by appearances. The outer world may not yet reflect the inner feeling. That does not matter. Once you feel it real, the seed is planted. And like every seed, it will take time to unfold. But unfold it must, for the law cannot fail. The outer world must conform to the inner state. Let me remind you of something profound. The body cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined state and a physical reality. If you imagine holding a lemon, biting into it, tasting its sharpness, your mouth waters. Why? Because the body reacts to the feeling, not to the fact. So too with your desires. If you feel them real, your inner world accepts them as true, and once accepted, they must be expressed in the outer. This is why I say to you tonight, do not merely think of your desire, feel it. Thinking of the desire keeps it distant. Feeling from the desire makes it present. Thinking of it says, someday. Feeling from it says, now, and only now create. So how do you cultivate this feeling? You begin in stillness, as we have practiced. Relax the body, free the mind, and claim the end. Then step into the mood of fulfillment. Ask yourself, if this were true, how would I feel? What would life look like through these eyes? What would I say to myself? What would I say to others? Then let the answers come. Do not force them. Allow them to rise naturally. Perhaps it is a simple sense of gratitude. Perhaps it is a deep sigh of relief. Perhaps it is a burst of joy. Whatever it is, hold it, dwell in it, savor it. Let it saturate you until the feeling is more real than the world outside. This is not daydreaming. This is creation. For the world outside is nothing more than crystallized feeling. What you feel within, consistently and deeply, must one day harden into fact. Now I must warn you. The mind will try to pull you back. It will whisper, but it's not real. Look around you. Nothing has changed. Pay no attention. That voice is the echo of old states, and old states must die. Do not water them with your attention. Instead, return to the feeling. Persist in it, even when the senses deny it. For the senses are latecomers. They follow, they do not lead. The feeling leads, and here lies your power. No one can take this from you. The world may deny you, circumstances may oppose you, but within, you are free to feel whatever you choose. You are sovereign in imagination, and what you consistently feel there, you will one day stand upon in the flesh. So I say to you, practice feeling it real until it becomes second nature. Let it be the air you breathe, the atmosphere you carry. Walk through the world as the one who has already received. Speak with the confidence of fulfillment. Rest with the ease of accomplishment. Let others wonder at your calm, your joy, your certainty, for they cannot see the inner world, but you know that you have felt it real, and therefore it is done. This step is the turning point. Without feeling, imagination remains a shadow. With feeling, imagination becomes flesh, and once it becomes flesh within, it must become flesh without. So tonight, do not leave here with only words. Leave with a new feeling. Choose your desire, claim the end, and feel it real. Let that feeling carry you to sleep. Let it greet you in the morning. Let it walk with you through the day. For as you dwell in it, the world will rearrange itself. People will move, doors will open, circumstances will shift, all to reflect the inner state you have chosen. Remember this always. You are not creating with effort, but with feeling. Not with struggle, but with surrender. Feel it real, and reality will bow. 5. Drop the how. My friends, we have entered the silence. We have relaxed the body, freed the mind, claimed the end, and learned to feel it real. Now comes a step that is as liberating as it is challenging. Drop the how. For this is where so many fall. They imagine the desire, they feel it fulfilled, and then they demand to know, but how will this happen? How will the pieces come together? How will life arrange itself to give me what I want? And in that moment, they fall back into doubt. The mind scrambles to construct paths, to calculate possibilities, to force the outcome. Yet the truth is this: the how is not your work. The how belongs to life itself. When you ask how, you are declaring that you do not yet believe. For if you truly believed it was done, would you worry about the route it takes to arrive? Imagine planting a seed in the earth. Do you sit by the soil and demand to know, but how will the roots form? How will the stem push through? How will the fruit appear? No, you trust the process. You water it, you wait, you allow. The mystery of growth is not yours to manage. The harvest comes because the seed was planted. So too with your desires. Once you have claimed the end and felt it real, your work is complete. The seed is planted. The feeling is the watering, and life itself, that unseen power which animates all, takes care of the rest. The bridge of incidents will unfold. The people, the circumstances, the opportunities will rise in ways you could never have desired. Your task is not to build the bridge. Your task is to stand on the shore of fulfillment and know that the bridge will appear. The greatest mistake is to force the how. Forcing is rooted in fear. It declares, if I do not figure this out, it cannot happen. But creation is not born out of fear. Creation is born out of faith, and faith says, it is done. The details are not my concern. The way will make itself known. Let me give you an image. Imagine a traveler boarding a train. He buys a ticket for the destination he desires. Once seated, he does not rush to the front of the train, demanding to know how the engine works, how the tracks are laid, how the conductor guides the way. No, he rests in the certainty that the train will carry him. The how is not his burden. The destination is assured, because the journey has begun. So too with you. When you claim the end, you have purchased your ticket. When you feel it real, you are seated on the train. All that remains is to trust the movement of life, to let it carry you. The route may twist, the stops may surprise you, but the destination is sure. This is why I say, drop the how. Drop it completely. Do not cling to it. Do not chase it. Do not torment yourself with questions. Each time the mind demands, but how? Simply return to the feeling of the end. Rest there. For the end contains within it every means necessary. The moment you feel the fulfillment, the means are already set in motion. Perhaps you ask, but what if I do nothing? Will nothing happen? My friends, you cannot do nothing. Life itself will move you. You will find yourself inspired to act, drawn to speak, nudged to turn here or there. These are not accidents. They are the unfolding of the bridge. You do not force the action. The action arises naturally, effortlessly. in harmony with the vision you hold. Consider this. How often has something appeared in your life without planning, without strategy, without control? A chance meeting, a sudden idea, an unexpected opportunity. Did you create the steps? No. The steps came to you, and so it will always be. The how belongs not to you, but to the unseen hand that shapes reality. This is the freedom of creation. You are not the laborer. You are the dreamer. You do not toil to assemble the parts. You rest in the completed vision, and in that rest, the parts arrange themselves. Think of the weaver at the loom. To the untrained eye, the threads appear chaotic, tangled, meaningless. But step back, and the pattern reveals itself. Life is weaving the pattern of your desire. Up close, the threads may confuse you, but from the higher view, the design is perfect. Drop the need to control the threads. Trust the pattern. So how do you practice dropping the how? Each time the question arises, do not resist it, but do not feed it. Simply remind yourself, it is not my work. My work is to feel it done. The rest is already arranged. Then return to the feeling. Return to the end. Rest in the vision, and the how will dissolve like mist. Do not confuse this with passivity. Dropping the how does not mean sitting idly, refusing to act. It means trusting the right action will appear at the right time. It means no longer straining, no longer forcing. It means flowing, allowing, responding when the nudge comes. You will know the difference. For forced action feels heavy, anxious, and desperate. Inspired action feels light, natural, inevitable. That is the difference between controlling the how and allowing it to unfold. Now I ask you, what desire burns within you? See it, feel it, claim it, and now release the how. Release the need to control, the need to plan every step, the need to dictate the unfolding. Rest in the joy of the end, and trust that the path will appear. Some will say, but that is too simple. Surely I must do more. And I tell you, the simplicity is the power. The seed does not struggle to grow. The heart does not struggle to beat. The sun does not struggle to rise. Why then must you struggle for what is already yours? Drop the how, and let life reveal its effortless wisdom. This step is the great relief. For once you drop the how, the burden lifts. You no longer carry the weight of details. You no longer torment yourself with doubt. You walk in freedom, knowing that it is already done. And in that freedom, you become a magnet for miracles. So tonight, my friends, take this truth with you. The how is not your business. The end is your business. Feel the end. Live from it. Dwell in it. And trust that the unseen power of life is arranging the rest. Drop the how, and you will discover that what once seemed impossible flows into your life with a grace you could never have planned. 6. Persist gently. My friends, we have entered the silence, relaxed the body, freed the mind, claimed the end, felt it real, and dropped the how. Now we come to a step that is often misunderstood, yet it is the golden thread that holds all others together. Persist gently. Why gently? Because persistence is not about straining, forcing, or exhausting yourself. True persistence is calm, steady, and consistent. It is the quiet returning to the vision again and again until it becomes natural, until it feels like home. You see, many begin with enthusiasm. They imagine with passion. They feel the thrill of the desire fulfilled. They trust the process. But when the outer world does not immediately reflect the inner change, they grow restless. Doubt creeps in. They abandon the vision and declare it does not work. But creation is like planting a garden. You do not scatter seeds in the soil today and expect fruit tomorrow. You water, you wait, you persist. You trust that the invisible process beneath the ground is alive, though you cannot yet see it. And one day, without warning, the green shoot breaks through. So too with your imagination. The seed of your desire is planted the moment you claim the end and feel it real. Your persistence is the gentle watering. Now listen carefully. Persistence is not repetition without faith. It is not begging, not pleading, not doubting while you try to convince yourself. Persistence is the steady resting in the end, the quiet return to the state of fulfillment each time you wander away. It is the practice of coming home to your desire, no matter how many times the world tempts you to leave. And why gently? Because force betrays doubt. If you must strain to hold the vision, it means you do not yet trust it. But when you persist gently, you reveal faith. You are saying, I need not shout. I need not fight. It is already mine. I simply return to the feeling, because it is natural for me to do so. Think of a child learning to walk. He does not rise once, fall, and then quit in despair. He rises again and again, and yet he does not rise with frustration. He rises with joy, with curiosity, with play. He persists gently, and in time, walking becomes second nature. So too with you. Each time you slip from the vision, rise again. Do not condemn yourself. Do not declare failure. Simply return to the end. Return to the feeling. Return to the knowing. Soon it will be as natural as breathing. Now let us make this practical. Suppose you desire health. Perhaps the body still shows signs of weakness. Perhaps the symptoms persist. The senses cry out, it is not done. What do? You persist gently. You do not argue with the body. You do not wage war with the senses. You simply return, again and again, to the feeling of being whole. You rest in that end. And though the body may take time to conform, it must conform, for the seed cannot fail. Or suppose you desire abundance. The bills may come. The bank may speak of lack. But you do not surrender to appearances. You persist gently in the feeling of plenty. You dwell in the joy of freedom, the relief of security, the delight of having more than enough. You do not fight the bills. You bless them. You pay them. And you return to the vision of abundance. And soon, the outer world begins to mirror the inner persistence. The danger lies in discouragement. Discouragement is the thief of dreams. It whispers, it has been too long. It is not working. Give up. But persistence answers, it is done. Time is not my concern. I will remain in the end until the world catches up. And here is the beauty. The moment you persist gently, the journey itself becomes joyful. You are no longer desperate for signs, no longer anxious for results. You are content to rest in the state of fulfillment, because you know it is real. You know it is only a matter of time before the unseen becomes seen. Persistence also means refusing to water the weed. If you have planted the seed of your desire, do not also plant seeds of fear and doubt. Do not rehearse failure in your imagination. Do not dwell on what you do not want. Each time the weeds appear, do not fight them. Simply turn again to the flower you have planted. Return to the end. Feel it real. Persist gently. Some may ask, but how long must I persist? And I answer, until it feels natural, until the state of fulfillment becomes so familiar that you no longer question it, until you walk in the certainty of it, regardless of what the senses report. For the senses are slow, but the imagination is swift. The outer lags behind, but the inner is already done. Your persistence bridges the gap. Let me give you another image. Imagine a sculptor working with marble. At first, the block is rough, formless, unrecognizable, but with each gentle stroke of the chisel, the figure emerges. Does the sculptor despair because the first strike does not reveal the masterpiece? No, he persists, stroke by stroke, patiently, faithfully, until the vision within the stone is revealed. So too with you. Each return to the vision is a stroke of the chisel. Persist gently, and the masterpiece must appear. And here is the secret. Persistence is not measured in time, but in intensity of faith. A single moment of deep, genuine feeling is worth more than hours of shallow repetition. But if you fall away, do not fear. Simply return. Return again and again, until the feeling of fulfillment becomes your dwelling place. Do not confuse persistence with obsession. Obsession is anxious, fearful, grasping. Persistence is calm, faithful, assured. Obsession clings. Persistence rests. Obsession doubts. Persistence knows. So tonight I ask you, what desire have you claimed? What end have you felt? Will you persist gently in it? Or will you abandon it when the outer world seems slow? Will you rise like the child, again and again until walking is natural? Or will you give up, declaring defeat before the fruit has ripened? Remember, my friends, the fruit does not appear the moment you plant the seed, but if you water it, if you persist, the harvest is certain. Your persistence is the proof of your faith, and faith never fails. So carry this truth with you. Creation is not a single act, but a sustained attitude. It is the steady choice to dwell in the end. No matter how often you wander, it is the gentle persistence of returning, again and again until the desire is not a hope, but a knowing. Persist gently, and in due season, you will stand in the very world you once imagined, and when you do, you will know it was not struggle, not force, but quiet, faithful persistence that brought it to pass. 7. Trust the unseen. My friends, tonight we arrive at a step that demands courage, for it challenges everything the senses tell us. We have entered the silence, relaxed the body, claimed the end, felt it real, dropped the how, and learned to persist gently. Now the great invitation is this: trust the unseen. What does it mean to trust the unseen? It means to lean upon the invisible reality that is already finished within you, though your eyes do not yet behold it. It means to recognize that what is most real is not what you touch, not what you hear, not what you see, but what you imagine, what you feel, what you know within. The world of the senses is slow, heavy, delayed. It is like the shadow that follows the body. It cannot move until the body moves. The unseen world of imagination, however, is swift, creative, immediate. And so to trust the unseen is to trust the source rather than the shadow, the cause rather than the effect. Consider this: every invention, every creation, every work of art began unseen. Before the building rose, it was unseen in the mind of the architect. Before the music was heard, it was silent within the soul of the composer. Before the discovery was announced, it was hidden within the imagination of the scientist. The outer world is merely the slow unveiling of the inner vision. If you can trust this in the life of others, why not in your own? Yet here lies the difficulty. The senses cry out against it. They shout, "It is not here. You are deceiving yourself." The body reports its weakness. The bank declares its emptiness. The world displays its lack. And if you believe the senses, you abandon the unseen. But if you hold fast to the invisible, the senses will eventually yield. Trusting the unseen is not blind faith. It is the highest intelligence. For what is unseen is the seed, and the seed contains the tree. Would you doubt the oak because you see only the acorn? Would you declare the harvest impossible because you see only the bare soil? No. You trust the process, though your eyes cannot yet behold the fruit. So too, when you imagine the fulfilled desire, you hold the seed of the future. The unseen contains the seen. Now hear this truth: the unseen is not someday, it is now. When you imagine the end and feel it real, it is accomplished in the invisible. The outer simply lags behind. So your task is not to wonder when it will happen, but to trust that it already has happened, unseen, and will appear at the appointed hour. Imagine a pregnant woman. She does not doubt the unseen life within her simply because she cannot see it with her physical eyes. She knows it is there. She feels it. She trusts it. She lives in joyful anticipation, preparing the home, buying the clothes, arranging the cradle. Why? Because she trusts the unseen. She does not demand to see the child this instant to believe it exists. She rests in faith. And so it is with your desire. The moment you conceive it in imagination and feel it real, it is alive within you. Trust the unseen, and in due season, you will hold it in your hands. But how do we practice this trust? First, by refusing to measure by appearances. The senses may say, "It is not here," but you answer, "I live from the unseen, not by appearances." The bank statement may whisper lack, but you smile within, for you know abundance is already secured in the invisible. The body may ache, but you walk in the unseen strength. You honor the outer, but you trust the inner. Second, practice gratitude before the evidence arrives. Gratitude is the language of trust. When you give thanks for the unseen, you declare, "It is mine, though not yet visible." Gratitude in advance is faith in action. It waters the unseen seed and quickens its manifestation. Third, prepare as though it were done. Just as the pregnant mother arranges the cradle, you too arrange your life to receive what is unseen. You live as the one who already possesses the desire, not in pretense, but in faith. For trust expresses itself in readiness. Now let us take example. Perhaps you long for reconciliation with someone you love. The outer world may say, "It is impossible. Too much time has passed. Too many words have been spoken." But if within you, you imagine the embrace, the joy, the forgiveness, then trust the unseen. Do not measure by silence or distance. Trust the unseen bond that has already been formed within. Live in the certainty that harmony exists, though the senses do not yet record it. Or perhaps you long for a new career, a new opportunity, a new door to open. Outwardly, All may appear closed, the applications unanswered, the rejections received, the contact silent. But if within you see yourself in the role, feel the satisfaction of the work, live in the joy of fulfillment, then trust the unseen. The doors will open, the bridges will appear, the ways you could not plan will unfold. Trust not the appearances, but the invisible certainty. Hear me well, trusting the unseen is not waiting in despair, but living in confidence. It is not resignation, but assurance. It is not passivity, but expectancy. You do not sit in doubt, wringing your hands wondering if it will come. You walk with your head lifted, knowing it is already yours. And when the mind whispers, "But what if it fails?" answer gently, "The unseen cannot fail, it is law. The inner creates the outer, the cause precedes the effect. I need only trust." Even nature testifies to this truth. The farmer sows the seed, and trusts the unseen soil to work. He does not dig up the seed in panic, checking if it has sprouted. He trusts, he waters, he waits, and in time, the harvest comes. If you can trust the soil of the earth, will you not trust the soil of your own imagination? This is the mark of maturity, to trust what cannot yet be seen. A child demands immediate evidence. A child cries when the toy is not instantly given, but the mature soul rests in the unseen, knowing that what is real in imagination is certain in manifestation. So tonight I urge you, dare to trust the unseen. When doubt rises, return to your inner vision. When fear whispers, declare within, "It is done." When appearances contradict, smile, for you know the unseen is working. Trusting the unseen is walking by faith, not by sight. It is choosing the invisible over the visible, the eternal over the temporary, the cause over the effect. And when you make this choice, the world must eventually yield. So let us stand firm in this. What you have seen within, what you have felt as real, is already yours. Trust it, rest in it, give thanks for it, and soon the unseen will break forth into the seen, as surely as day follows night. My friends, trust the unseen, for it is the unseen that shapes the world, and when you trust it, life itself will rise to prove you right. 8. Rest in faith. My friends, we have come now to a most beautiful and necessary step. Rest in faith. If trusting the unseen is the posture of your mind, then resting in faith is the atmosphere of your soul. It is the state of being that says, "It is done, I need not strive, I need not chase, I need not worry, for it is already mine." Too many people believe they have faith, yet their hearts are restless. They declare their desire, they imagine its fulfillment, they even affirm it aloud, but inside they're anxious, tense, and doubtful. That is not faith. That is hoping with fear. True faith is restful. It is calm. It is quiet assurance. Faith is not noise. It is not frantic repetition. It is not the desperate plea of someone who thinks they are unheard. Faith is still. Faith is certain. Faith is the silent knowing that what you have claimed in imagination is finished. To rest in faith is to sit back in the inner certainty as though you had already received it. Consider this. If you ordered something precious and valuable, and the confirmation came into your hands, you would not spend the night worrying if it will arrive. The receipt is proof enough. You rest. You wait. You go about your life, confident the delivery is on its way. In the same manner, when you have imagined the end and felt it real, that inner feeling is your confirmation. That inner knowing is your receipt. To rest in faith is to live as though the matter is settled, because in truth, it already is. Now let us reflect together. What is the opposite of rest? It is strain. It is forcing. It is striving. And how often we are tempted to strain as though our efforts could make the invisible come faster. Yet strain only reveals disbelief. If you truly believe, you do not force. If you truly believe, you relax. If you truly believe, you rest. When you rest in faith, your mind is not bouncing from doubt to doubt, from fear to fear. Your mind is anchored. You are not searching for signs every hour, wondering if it is coming. You are calm, because you know. This rest is powerful. It opens the door for life itself to arrange the path. When you rest in faith, you allow the invisible law of creation to operate without interference. Your rest is the evidence of your certainty, and life always mirrors certainty. Let us take a picture of this. Imagine you are sitting at the edge of a calm lake. The water is still, glass-like, reflecting the sky. Every image is perfect, undisturbed. But now imagine you throw a stone into it. Ripples disturb the surface. the reflection shatters. The lake is no longer at rest. Such is the difference between faith and doubt. When the mind is restless, the image of your desire is broken, distorted, delayed. But when the mind is calm, resting in faith, the image is held perfectly. The unseen reflects itself into the seen with clarity. To rest in faith is not laziness. Do not mistake it. Rest is not inaction. It is alignment. It is not doing nothing, but doing the right thing from the right state. When you rest in faith, you still move in the world. You still act, but you act from assurance rather than desperation. You speak from certainty rather than fear. Your steps are guided, not frantic. This rest is not indifference either. It is not saying I do not care if it happens. No, it is deep care, but with calm assurance. It is love for your desire, coupled with the wisdom to know it is already secured. Now how do we cultivate this rest? Let us consider a few ways. First, by daily returning to your inner vision until it feels natural. When the feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes natural to you, faith becomes restful. The strain leaves, the anxiety dissolves. What was once forced becomes familiar, and familiarity brings rest. Second, by quieting the chatter of the senses. The senses scream, look, nothing has changed. But you answer softly, I walk by inner knowing, not by appearances. Each time the outer world tempts you to panic, you return inward, rest again and feel it done. Third, by practicing gratitude now, not later. Gratitude transforms waiting into resting. The anxious mind waits nervously for proof. The faithful heart gives thanks now as proof. Gratitude is the song of rest. When you say thank you, it is done, you announce to the universe that you are at peace, certain, confident. Fourth, by remembering that all creation is finished, the end already exists. Your task is not to create, but to align, not to force, but to receive. This remembrance quiets the striving. It reminds you that you are not trying to make it happen. You are simply allowing what already exists to unfold. Now let us illustrate. Suppose you are longing for healing. The body may report pain. The diagnosis may report limitation. But when you rest in faith, you no longer chase after endless remedies with desperation. Instead, you imagine yourself whole, feel the reality of health, and then rest in it. You walk as though the healing were already complete. Your peace itself becomes medicine. Or imagine the one who longs for financial freedom. The anxious heart strains, works frantically, fears every setback. But the restful heart imagines abundance, feels it real, and then moves calmly in the world. They do not act from panic, but from wisdom. Opportunities are seen clearly when the mind is at rest. Strain blinds, but rest illuminates. Rest in faith transforms your energy. Have you not noticed? People who truly believe walk differently, speak differently, even breathe differently. They carry themselves with calm power. They are not shaken by delays, for they know the end is certain. Their rest radiates strength, and that strength attracts the very things they desire. Now some may ask, but what if I struggle to rest? What if anxiety returns again and again? The answer is this: simply return. Each time the mind wanders into doubt, return to the inner vision. Each time anxiety rises, remind yourself, it is done. Rest is cultivated by repetition, just as the body learns a new habit by practice. Do not condemn yourself for unrest. Gently guide yourself back, again and again, until rest becomes your natural state. And hear this: rest is not weakness. The world teaches you to fight, to strain, to prove yourself. But the greatest power is rest. The one who rests in faith is not weak. They are unshakable. They have mastered the art of surrender, and in surrender they have found dominion. So tonight I say to you, rest in faith. Breathe deeply. Feel the desire accomplished. Whisper within, thank you, it is done. Then go about your day with calm assurance. Let the world do what it will. Let appearances rise and fall. You remain at rest. And soon as night follows day, the outer will conform to the inner. What you rested in you will hold. What you gave thanks for you will touch. What you calmly claimed you will see. And rest in faith, my friends. For this rest is the highest proof of belief, and life cannot deny the restful heart, for the restful heart has already received. 9. Live the tone now. My friends, we have traveled together through silence, imagination, feeling, trust, and rest. Now comes a step that is both practical and deeply spiritual. Live the tone now. What do I mean by this? To live the tone now is to carry yourself in the vibration, the attitude, the atmosphere of the one who already possesses what they desire. It is not waiting for the outer proof. It is not saying one day I will feel it. No, it is choosing to wear the state now, to embody it now, to live in the mood of fulfillment before it has shown itself outwardly. This is where so many falter. They wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel the change. They wait for the relationship to arrive before they act love. They wait for the wealth to appear before they walk in confidence. They wait for healing to manifest before they breathe with joy. But if you wait, you postpone. If you wait, you delay. If you wait, you affirm that it is not yet yours. To live the tone now is to refuse delay. It is to rise today in this very moment and say, I walk as though it is done. I carry myself as though it is complete. I embody the reality I have claimed. Think of an actor on the stage. The actor does not wait for the costume, or the scenery, or the applause to become the character. The actor steps into the role at once, and in stepping into it, the audience is convinced. In the same way, you are the actor of your own destiny. The moment you live the tone now, life itself becomes your stage, and the world responds to the role you are playing. But let me make it clear. Living the tone is not pretending. Pretending feels hollow, mechanical, insincere. Living the tone is being. It is the natural outflow of resting in faith. When you rest in the certainty of your inner claim, you naturally begin to live in the mood of the fulfilled. Now let us look deeper. What is a tone? It is the atmosphere of a state. Just as music has tones, so too does consciousness. Each fulfilled desire has its tone, a distinct flavor, a unique vibration. Wealth has its tone, love has its tone, health has its tone, success has its tone. And when you attune yourself to that tone, you harmonize with the reality of it. So I ask you, what tone are you living in today? Are you living in the tone of lack, the tone of waiting, the tone of uncertainty? Or are you living in the tone of having, the tone of fulfillment, the tone of joy? Remember this, life mirrors your tone. The world echoes the music you play within yourself. If your inner song is anxious, life brings anxious notes. If your inner song is joyful, life dances with joy. If your inner song is fulfilled, life delivers fulfillment. Living the tone now means waking each morning and asking, what would the me who already has this live like today? And then live it. Walk as that one. Speak as that one. Move as that one. If you seek love, how would you walk if you were already adored? Would you shrink? Would you fear? Would you doubt your worth? No, you would walk tall. You would glow with ease. You would rest in the joy of being chosen. Live that tone now. If you seek abundance, how would you think if you already had it? Would you count every coin in fear? Worry over every expense? Live in the shadow of lack? No, you would breathe freely. You would speak generously. You would radiate confidence. Live that tone now. If you seek healing, how would you carry yourself if you were already whole? Would you rehearse your pain? Talk endlessly of illness? Fear every symptom? No, you would breathe with gratitude, move with strength, imagine vitality. Live that tone now. And listen closely. The tone you live in shapes your actions without effort. When you live the tone of fulfillment, your choices, words, and movements naturally align with that reality. You do not force it. You do not discipline yourself with rigid effort. You simply be, and from being flows doing. This is why many struggle. They try to change actions while leaving the tone untouched. They try to act rich while living in the tone of poverty. They try to act loved while living in the tone of rejection. They try to act confident while living in the tone of fear. And so their actions are hollow, brittle, unconvincing. Change the tone, and the actions change by themselves. Living the tone now requires courage, for the senses will tempt you to say, but it is not here yet. And faith will answer, it is here now, in me. The world may say, wait until you see, and faith will answer, I see already within. Do you see the beauty of this? Living the tone now is freedom. It frees you from waiting. It frees you from hoping. It frees you from postponing joy. It says, I will not wait for life to deliver before I live in the joy of having. I live it now. And what happens when you live the tone? The outer follows. Life rearranges. People respond differently to you. Opportunities reveal themselves. Doors open. Why? Because you are no longer broadcasting the tone of waiting, but the tone of fulfillment. Think of the radio. If you tune to the frequency of a certain station, that is the music you hear. If you want a new song, you must tune to the new station. So it is with consciousness. Living the tone now is tuning to the frequency of fulfillment. And once tuned, you cannot help but hear, see, and experience the song of your desire. Now let us practice together. Close your eyes for a moment and bring to mind your desire. Ask yourself, what is the tone of this fulfilled state? How does it feel? What atmosphere surrounds it? Then step into that atmosphere. Breathe it in, and now carry it with you. When you rise from this seat, do not leave the tone behind. Walk with it. Talk with it. Live it. Yes, it may feel strange at first, like a new garment. It may feel unfamiliar, but soon it becomes natural. The more you wear the tone, the more it fits, until it becomes your second skin. And when it becomes natural, the outer world cannot resist. It must conform. Hear this clearly. You are not waiting for the tone to come to you. You are bringing the tone forth from within. You are the source, not the beggar. You are the creator, not the victim. Live the tone now, and you prove to yourself that you are the cause of your reality. My friends, let us not postpone joy. Let us not wait another day, another hour, another moment. The fulfilled state is available now. The tone of your desire is available now. Step into it, live in it, and carry it with you as your constant companion. And soon, very soon, the world will rise to meet the tone you have chosen. For life cannot resist the one who lives the fulfilled state. Life must mirror the music you play with it. So tonight I leave you with this charge. Live the tone now. Do not wait. Do not delay. The state is yours. Wear it boldly. Walk in it. Speak from it. Rest in it. Live. And as you do, the impossible dissolves. The unseen becomes seen. And the desire you once longed for stands before you as fact. Live the tone now, and you will never live in waiting again. 10. Allow the impossible. My friends, we have come together through silence, through imagination, through trust, through faith, through tone. And now as we stand at the final step, I ask you to open your heart to the greatest truth of all. Allow the impossible. This is not the step of effort. This is not the step of struggle. This is not the step of reasoning. This is the step of surrender, the step of yielding, the step of trust so deep that you no longer measure possibility by what the senses tell you. It is the step where you say, even that which the world calls impossible is not beyond me, because I carry within me the power that makes all things possible. Let us pause here. Consider how often you have allowed the word impossible to limit you. How many dreams have you pushed aside because they seemed too far, too high, too unlikely? How many desires have you silenced because others said, it cannot be done? How many times have you looked at your life and said, this is too much for me? But hear me now, there is no too much for the power within you. There is no dream too large, no mountain too high, no distance too far. The word impossible is not truth. It is only the boundary the mind creates when it forgets who it is. To allow the impossible means to take off those chains. It means to no longer bow before appearances, to no longer worship limitations, to no longer surrender to fear. It means to stand tall in the awareness that what seems beyond reach is, in truth, already within reach the moment you dare to claim it. The world will always offer you reasons why it cannot be done. The experts will say, it is unrealistic. The statistics will say, it is unlikely. The crowd will say, it is foolish. And yet history is written by those who allowed the impossible. Every breakthrough, every invention, every act of greatness, every story of transformation, all of it came because someone refused to let the word impossible rule their destiny. But I tell you tonight, the impossible is not only for heroes, not only for saints, not only for the few. It is for you. It is for the one sitting here now. It is for the heart that dares to believe and the soul that dares to allow. What does it mean to allow? It means to stop resisting. It means to stop questioning how and when. It means to stop tightening your grip in anxiety and instead open your hands in faith. To allow is to let the river flow without damming it. To allow is to trust that the seed will bloom without digging it up every day to check if it is growing. Allowing is an act of rest. Allowing is an act of courage. Allowing is the highest act of faith. For when you allow, you admit that there is a wisdom greater than your effort, a power greater than your calculation, a life that moves through you and knows exactly how to bring forth your desire. Think of the soil. It does not strain to push the tree upward. It simply allows the tree to grow because the life is already in the seed. So it is with you. The life of your desire is already within your imagination. You do not need to force it. You need only allow it. But I must make this clear. Allowing is not passive. Allowing is not laziness. Allowing is not doing nothing. Allowing is active faith, living faith, embodied. Allowing is waking each day and living in the knowing that it is done, without the restless urge to control or manipulate the process. When you allow, the impossible becomes natural. What once seemed beyond your reach arrives at your door as though it had always been destined. What once seemed far away begins to move toward you with uncanny precision. What once seemed blocked opens with ease. And here is the secret. The impossible does not come by force, but by flow. The impossible does not bow to struggle, but to surrender. The impossible does not obey doubt, but faith. When you allow, you enter that flow. You yield to that surrender. You embody that faith, and life itself bends to your inner conviction. Now I ask you, what is the impossible in your life? Is it a healing the doctors said cannot happen? Is it a dream career the world says is out of reach? Is it a love the mind says is too late? Is it freedom from debt, freedom from fear, freedom from the past? Whatever it is, I stand here tonight to declare it is not impossible. It is waiting for your allowance. For the truth is this: nothing comes into your life uninvited. Nothing manifests without your inner consent. And when you consent to the impossible, when you allow it, embrace it, welcome it, it will come. It must come. For life cannot resist the one who has allowed it within. So let us practice. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring to mind the one thing you have secretly thought impossible. The one dream so large, so daring, that you hardly whisper it aloud. And now in this moment say within yourself, I allow it. Not I will allow it one day. Not I will allow it if circumstances change. But now, say I allow it now. Feel the peace of that allowance. Feel the rest in that surrender. Feel the joy of opening the door of your heart to what was once locked outside. Yes, the mind may protest. Yes, doubt may whisper. But stand firm. Say again, I allow it. And keep saying it until every cell of your being agrees. And then, live as though it is done. Walk as the one who has allowed the impossible. Speak as the one who has welcomed the miracle. Move as the one who has said yes to life's highest gift. For when you live this way, the outer world cannot help but rearrange. The phone call comes. The door opens. The chance meeting occurs. The unexpected gift arrives. The very thing you thought impossible stands before you as fact. And when it comes, you will not be surprised, because you will know that you allowed it long before it appeared. You will know that the miracle did not come from outside, but from within. You will know that you were never limited, except by your refusal to allow. So tonight, I invite you into a new life. A life where the word impossible holds no power over you. A life where you meet every desire, every dream, every challenge with one response. I allow it. Say it with me. I allow it. Say it until it becomes the anthem of your soul. Say it until it becomes the rhythm of your life. Say it until the impossible is no longer impossible, but inevitable. This, my friends, is the final step. Relax, rest, trust, and above all allow. For in allowing, you open the gates of heaven within yourself. In allowing, you invite the impossible to prove itself possible. In allowing, you rise into the fullness of who you truly are. So let this be your declaration tonight and every night. I allow the impossible, and I watch it become my reality. And with that, we close our journey from silence to imagination, from trust to tone, and now to the final surrender of allowance. You have within you the power to manifest anything. Do not resist it. Do not delay it. Simply allow it, and watch as even the impossible bows before you.